It's Tuesday morning and my IQ has vanished completely. We had a real busy weekend of wonderful things, which I'll tell you about. And also, I just have some things I want to share. Where do I begin? So, end of May, we all know this is one of the busiest seasons known to mankind. We've got graduation. Well, there you go. We've got graduation, and that says it all. So my daughter is graduating in December, actually, but she's walking with her friends. Or she walked with her. Oh my gosh. Can you tell I'm a little tired this morning? So Julia is graduating with her MBA in December, but she walked yesterday, Monday. Leading up to this, she hired one of her cohort's wives to take pictures of her for graduation. So Saturday, she invited me to go with her. She said, "Mom, I really want you to be there when I take my graduation pictures." I'm like, "Great, no problem." So we went over to campus, and I had this scathingly brilliant idea to have a picture of my sister printed and put in a frame so Julia could hold it. Because my sister, she worked at Cal State Long Beach. She was the chair of the music conservatory for 6 or 7 or 8 years. I don't even know how long. And Julia wanted to commemorate her. This is great, but it means we walked all over campus. And I'm not one who keeps track of my steps because there are usually only about 47 of them in a day. But I did have my phone on me that day when we were walking around, and I logged in about 3,000 steps that day. 3,000? No, that's not right. 6,000. Those are big numbers for me. I don't know. So we walked from the College of Business down to Bob Cole, which is on basically the other side of campus. And then we walked back to the School of Business, and then we walked up to the fountains and down. I mean, we were all over campus. It is a beautiful campus. If you ever have the opportunity to walk around Cal State Long Beach, it is just a beautiful campus and very near and dear to my heart. Her pictures will be coming back in a few days, but I wanted to show you at least some that I took. Saddle up and dance. So that was Saturday. And I remember we got home. I didn't nap that day. What did we do that night? I just remember, I think I fell asleep at about 8 o'clock that night, which is so dumb. But the next day, we had to get up at the crack of dawn to go to Pride. So again, my daughter, Julia, she's a project manager for Falck Ambulances, but her job is really not being a project manager. She's sort of the DEI culture person for the company. And one of the things she's been very active in doing is getting the company represented at Pride. And Long Beach Pride, she's done OC Pride, she's done San Diego Pride, but this is the first time they've done Long Beach Pride. It was very much a last minute thing. And we got scooted in right behind our Mayor Rex Richardson of Long Beach. And he is just this lovely man. He's probably 43 years old. He's got little kids. And he had everybody all in an open truck, with the sides open. And people were waving and marching around him. And he had a microphone. And I have to tell you, the message that he kept sending was, "We love you, Long Beach. We love everyone in Long Beach. Everyone is invited and welcomed in Long Beach. You love who you love, and we will honor that." And that was his message. We love you. We love you. Well, not unexpectedly, there were some people who didn't feel quite the same way. And all I can say is it was this beautiful juxtaposition of our mayor, a beautiful young Black man, talking about how the city loves everyone and everyone is welcome here.
Long Beach. That's right. All around here. It's a celebration.
next to the people shouting, "God hates you, you're a sinner, you're going to hell." As for me and my house, we choose love. Fantastic day, so much fun. I mean, Pride is a celebration, and it is a gloriously over-the-top, magnificent celebration. And if you've never been to one, never been to see the parade or walk in the parade, it is an experience. It is a fantastic experience. Anyway, my heart was very full that day, and so were my feet. When we were done at the end of the day, we had over 10,000 steps and walked 4.5 miles or something. That was interesting to me because I had never put the distance equivalency to that many steps. So basically for me and my stride length, if I want to walk 10,000 steps, I got to hike 4.5 miles. Good job, Leanne. You can do it. I know you can. So that was Sunday. Again, got home from Pride, went right to bed. I think I took a 2-hour nap. And then I was also in bed early that night. It was a lot. It was not just the walking. It was being in the sun. It was the energy of being around that many people. And we had a blast. It was so great. And afterwards, so pseudo-grandson walked with us, and William was just fantastic talking to people and stuff. So it was all great. And then yesterday was graduation at Angel Stadium. Yay! So we left the house at 7. Yes. And the group of cohorts from the MBA that Julia had were tailgating for graduation, a 9 o'clock graduation. Yeah, I did not participate. They had orange juice and Prosecco, and I enjoyed the orange juice, not the Prosecco. That was later. So graduation was at Angel Stadium, and of course, Angel Stadium is enormous, but it worked very well in that the big diamond vision, do they call it that? I don't even know what they call it anymore. The big screens showed everything, and the way they had this worked out, I asked Julia how they did it. When you registered for graduation, you input your name, phonetically how to say it if it needed to be, and what your degree was going to be. And when you did this, you got a QR code. So when she was walking across the field, waiting for her turn, she handed her slip of paper with her IQ. She handed her IQ. No, she handed the QR code to whoever was doing the graphics for the graduation. So when she crossed the stage, as you'll see, they say her name, you see her name, and it was just a really fun experience. And she was first because there were 8 million people graduating in the College of Business, and that was only one of 2 graduations yesterday. So the master's students got to go first, and as soon as she was done, we hightailed it out of there and went to lunch, wherein I did not have Prosecco. Don't even think that of me. I had a margarita. Of course I did. It was just an incredibly fun weekend, and I'm exhausted. But as Julia kept saying, "Mom, this is good practice for Europe because I'm going to take you all over the place." And I went, "Yep, I'm not going to die in Europe." And I broke in my shoes this weekend, so we're all good. So because of the busy weekend, as you can imagine, I didn't get a lot of knitting or reading done because when I'm that tired, I just shut down. And basically it was lying in my bed, listening to an audiobook and zoning out because I was so tired. But I want to show you where I am with things. So the pair of socks that I'm knitting for my bestie is 99% complete. So here's the first one I showed you. And she's seen it and she loves it and she's very excited. But she's going on a trip today and won't be back. So I have time to mail these so they'll get to her when she gets back. And then I'm on the toe of this one. And I realized the other night that I dropped a stitch and I did not have the IQ to fix it. So yeah, I'll be doing that when I get back in my body. I am feeling much better today. I'm not stiff. I feel well rested. And yeah, life is good. So anyway, this is Linda's blue sock, almost done. I'll finish it today. And then I showed you the squishy mail last week that I'd gotten. And this is where we are with that. Let me fix this. I'm kind of in the middle of a row, so it looks weird. So let me move that. Hello. We're doing the Mermaid Avenue pattern. I have 2 pairs of socks with this pattern. It is fun to knit. It looks cool on, it feels good on my feet, and I think it looks just fantastic in this yarn. I'm very excited about that. So that's what I'm working on. I have nothing else planned. I'm even reading the same books I was reading last week because they're both really big books. So I started Marble Hall Murders, the 3rd book in the Susan Ryland series by Anthony Horowitz. It's great. I so enjoy these books. As I explained last week, it's a book within a book. And it turns out that the book that's within this book has clues to the murder that's in it's very interwoven and cool. But I read somewhere that Anthony Horowitz had to write this 3rd one really fast. He said the 5th one, he had the idea for 5 years, and then it took him almost a year and a half to write the 1st one. And it was so well received. He got the contract for the 2nd one. He wrote the 2nd one. And PBS, in the meanwhile, PBS said, well, we want to put the 1st one, Marble Hall Murders? No. Magpie Murders was the 1st one. We put Magpie Murders on PBS. We need to do a thing. And they did. And then they did a thing for this. And they were like, okay, we need a 3rd season. Could you please write book 3? So he wrote this one rather quickly. But it's just as good as the others. So I'm really enjoying it. But I really want to talk to you about still life. About 60% into the book, you have a scene where the woman Evelyn, the older matriarchal character in this book, is talking about art. She's teaching an art class. And she talks about the beauty of the still life and how the still lives are so interesting as you look back over history and historical things, because still lives represented the trivial, the inane, the everyday, right? You see a fish and a thing of water and some flowers. It's very much what happens every day. And she made another point. It's also the work of women that we see represented in still life. The cooking, the cleaning, the household things that need to be done. Anyway, it was a very beautiful little lecture in the middle of the book. And I told you, this is the 2nd time I've read this book. I now finally get why she named the book Still Life. Because this is a book that goes through 40 years in these people's lives. And you see these moments of life that are happy, that are sad, that are beautiful, that are devastating. And they're just these little glimpses. I mean, it all works together in a framework. But the way she writes these people's thoughts and feelings and vocabulary and how she describes things, it's really beautiful. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. I was going down a rabbit hole trying to figure out if she was going to write another book, because she's only written 4 or 5. I've read them all. They're fantastic. And I'm waiting for another one. This was written in 2022. And there's nothing out there about a new book. But there are sure a heck of a lot of people saying, hey, Sarah, when are you going to write a new book? She's just lovely. And if you really want the full Sarah Winman experience, get the audiobooks, because she reads her own audiobooks and she is just, it's the cadence of beautiful language that just does it for me. And you're immediately transported back to Tuscany or London, wherever the scene is taking place. You feel it, you're there. And this chosen family is just so fantastic. So if you read no other book that I recommend, may I suggest Still Life. I have no idea what's coming next. I'm almost finished with Still Life. I'll probably finish that today or tomorrow, and then I have to go on the hunt. And we all know how traumatic that can be for me. No, that's not true. There's a new book by Sarah Penner, who is an author I enjoy, called The Amalfi Coast. And I think that's what's next for me. Not even entirely sure what it's about. I think it has to do with shipwrecks. So that sounds fun. So that I'm going to probably pick up that, and I'll tell you about that next time. So this is my report. Busy weekend, busy life, doing great, having a short little podcast. Hey, how about instead of being cruel to people, like the pervasive plan these days, instead of shouting, God hates you, how about saying, love everyone, be kind, to everyone. How hard is that? I don't get it. Anyway, next week, we'll talk more. Have a great week, everyone.